is Sunday as usual, and today we're only 4 people though, but it's still the European Ham Radio Show. Kjetil had some
Hi, guys.
grown-up social life commitments that he had to tend to, so I guess it's only us then.
Actually, I think today, I need to inject today. This is the World Ham Radio Show because we have 2 people in Europe, 1 in America, and 1 in Asia.
Is Cyprus actually Asia? I thought Cyprus,
Asia. Yes, it is.
I thought Cyprus was Europe, since it's pretty much split between Greece and Turkey.
No, I think nobody agrees on that, but it is Asia.
No one agrees. And not to get into that, but it's kind of funny that 2 NATO countries need a demilitarized zone in the middle of Cyprus.
True.
Nonetheless, it's Sunday. It's the European Ham Radio Show, partly Asian, partly North American Ham Radio Show today. We got a giveaway coming, our first giveaway. We're going to reveal what that is later on. And that is it. And I see that Kjetil is actually in the chat, so I guess he's only partly social. Oh, he's waiting for the train home. Good excuses.
Because like I do, I cheat at work and like watch. I have like 3 screens on my work computer, so I'm working and I have one going on over here when people are streaming live while I'm working. So maybe he's doing something similar. He's working today.
So, topic of today is using your radio abroad, and I know at least the 2 guys I managed to point right at first attempt. Those 2 guys have some experiences with that. I have limited experiences with that. How about you, Tobias?
I have no experience with that. All my work-induced business trips were during the time when I was off ham radio, unfortunately. So in hindsight, I could have done some ham radio from South Korea. That would have been interesting, I guess, but
that would be real.
Missed the chance. Yeah.
So, I got some errors from YouTube here, but everything seems to be plain. So, if it's not working, let us know. I see that that LB4FH's got a wish and what he wants to win. First of all, Kjetil, you are part of the show, so you're not eligible. And second of all, you've already won a radio on my stream. But what he wants to win is the gold-plated IC7810. We're not that big of a show yet, but the price is, however,
give us a few years, right?
Yeah. So let's do the usual part first, though, our ham radio weeks. And let's start with the one in Asia. Bob, how has your ham radio week been?
I should really start taking notes about where I go playing video. Let's see. I thought I was leaving for Cyprus on Thursday, but I was leaving on Friday evening. So that got me 2 extra days of summits on the air. So I went up to 2 different summits. Last week, it doesn't matter which ones. No one's ever heard of them. But I had 2 nice trips in the Norwegian forest, and I got I think my first tick. I don't know if that's the correct translation of the Norwegian.
Yeah, that's completely correct. A tick.
Yeah. Bastards. They suck on they create holes in your body and they start sucking your blood, and they numb you before they do this, so you don't feel they're there. I just found out 2 days later. I had my wife pull that thing out of my back. That was that was not fun, but 2 excellent days of summits on the air, and my usual 10 meter and 2 meter sideband nets. I think that's about it for my week. And on Friday I went to Cyprus with my son, so basically I've been sweating and swimming since I got here. That's what we do in Cyprus in August. I tried to do some radio today. I brought this fantastic MFJ thing that you have this little wire that you're supposed to put into small holes and just the length of it.
We're going to talk about that
thing.
for
sure. Do you want it?
No, I've got one.
You can have it.
Well, technically though, did you bring any radials for it?
I brought a counterpoise, 5.5 meter, no, 2.5 meter counterpoise. It says in the instructions to have a less than a quarter wavelength counterpoise. So I did.
I think actually the trick with those antennas, as far as I've seen on YouTube, because I haven't really tried any of those myself, is having more radials than antenna.
Yeah, you can have it. Walt can have it. We can put it up for a giveaway. I don't want that thing anymore.
I have one.
It's so bad, huh?
I've been looking on YouTube for. I bought this antenna so you don't have to buy it antennas lately, or what? Looking at eBay, yeah, for those kind of antennas. Haven't found one that is sketchy enough to spend my money on yet.
You can have mine. I got that when I bought the 817. 817, fantastic radio, but that antenna is pure crap. Don't buy it. That's my advice.
And is that
if you want,
is that the only antenna you brought?
No, I brought my 5-meter fishing pole and inverted V dipole. So I'm going for one of these days. But it's just
awesome.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any wire with you?
I have the wire antenna, the 20-meter wire antenna that I use for lots of activities.
With a 5-meter, if you're near the water with a 5-meter pole, just build a quarter wave vertical for 20 meters, and you will be cooking. Trust me, that's my go-to antenna on the beach.
The problem is that the pole it's not fiberglass; it's carbon fiber, so I can't have the wire along it. That's yeah. I've tried that. The wire and the antenna fused together. Yeah, it's no good. Yeah.
Yeah. Tobias, your ham radio week, or perhaps your physical therapy week? How is that?
Yeah, right. It was a bit stressful this week. 3 physio sessions, 1 doctor's appointment, failing public transport to get the doctor's appointments. Great fun. I don't want to go into details. So basically, Friday, Saturday, Sunday were my spare days, and I've recorded 2 videos, which I haven't cut yet. Basically improved my 14-meter ground plane, elevated ground plane that I built. So did a little 3D design and printed it with the 3D printer. Little piece to slide over the pole so that that the connector doesn't scratch the pole. So I have to cut that video, and then I saw the video from the Smoking Ape about comparing the switching and the regulated power supplies. That was I think an interesting live stream he did in the last 2 days or so. So I thought I'll try that as well, because I have 2 different power supplies. I have the TS50 and I have one of these Anker power stations, So I thought I'll compare it and see the 2 different power supplies, which one draws more watt when I hit a key down on my TS50. And the result is as expected, but it was good to see it, basically, So
just out of curiosity, which power supply was the best?
Yeah, the switching power supply is more efficient, obviously, The regulated one takes about, 100 watt more and fries it into heat, or transfers it into heat.
Yeah. But that's a pretty good ham radio week anyway, though. You've done more than I have, I think. So that's good.
Yeah, but I all did it today, more or less. So don't know.
Walt, your ham radio week?
Man, I've been working a lot of hours, so I haven't done a whole lot. Worked 10 hours yesterday on Saturday here, so I've just been overwhelmed with work. But I did get a new radio here. I got, and I haven't even made a QSO yet. But I did get the 891, the FT 891.
Yay!
I have the LDG tuner, but I don't have the cable yet. So right now, later tonight, I'm going to get on. I've been playing around, just kind of getting used to the menu. And my antenna is resident on 20 meters, so I'm just going to be on 20 meters after a while, play around. Possibly, maybe later tonight when the conditions weren't that great today. I was kind of spinning around listening. I was like, wow, not that great. But I haven't done a lot, to be honest with you. It's been kind of tough. It's been, like I say this all the time, it's been miserable hot here too, and working a lot of hours. So haven't done a whole lot, really, to be honest with you. Working, I have read a lot. I got a lot of ideas and stuff I want to do, but haven't done much.
That's a common problem, though, having a lot of ideas but not being able to get through with them. I've had a really busy week. I've been working a lot this week. I've been preparing one video, and I got a couple of. I can actually, let's get the other camera here, and I can show you what my ham radio week pretty much has been. It's been these two radios. One is the let's see if I can get the display up. The Retivis RT83, I think, a DMR radio, which has surprised me a lot, actually. I thought it was going to be like any other Chinese DMR radio, but it's not. So there's a video coming on that sometime in the next couple of weeks. I got to finish off all my testing on it. And then I kind of bumped into this guy. Kenwood TS 440 seems to be working fine. Had a couple of QSOs on it, and that's all I've had. And I've just tried it a little bit, but there is definitely coming a couple of videos on that as well. And that's pretty much all I've had time for this week. I had some plans making some 2-meter QSOs from the car back and forth to work, but I haven't pressed the PTT button once on that radio. So that's been, and I've been planning a Hamfest since I'm putting on a Hamfest in 2 weeks. Done a lot of planning there. And turns out to be a lot bigger than I expected. Both the Norwegian Radio Relay League is coming, and the biggest ham radio reseller in Norway is coming there as well. So it's going to be a little bit bigger than I think. And this guy down here is going to talk about portable radio, more specific, Poda and Soda.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I got another Poda Park added to the database.
My audio is really
a bit scratchy, but that's a distance, I guess.
We can read you. Yeah.
More.
So operating abroad, though, let's get on subject for a little while, and then sometime during the stream we're gonna go to the giveaway. We're not gonna let you know when it is, but sometime during the stream we're gonna go and have a drawing, and there's not a big price, but Retivis has been a great supporter of my channel, and they sent me this hat over here. So whoever wants a Retivis hat is going to get a chance to win that later on in the stream. So no big radio today, but at least something. Operating abroad. Walt, you got a lot of experience. What should people think about when operating abroad?
Well, the reason I'm on the European Ham Radio Show is because I operated so much in Europe. For me, honestly, I went back and forth. With ham radio gear now, I've gone back and forth across the Atlantic 5 times. And for me, it's portability. How portable can you get it? How much you get the most bang, what we say in the States, bang for the buck. Getting things over. Really, when you're traveling, it's all about traveling with good equipment, but small equipment. I always, and I've preached how great the G90 is, but one of the good things about it is traveling with that G90. It was a shack in the box. It's got a built-in ATU. It didn't take a whole lot to power it. Pretty minimal, small power supply. I've traveled with both a small, I don't know if I got it over here. Yeah, so they're 6 amp hour battery, and I've also taken just a little small power supply. So working abroad is awesome for me. What a great experience. As an American ham, now I've got thousands of QSOs operating in Europe, and I learned so much. I learned the difference in and latitudes. Where I was at, not quite as high as you guys are, but pretty close in Poland, and then being down here in the States, getting more southerly. You learn so much about band conditions and operating and what it takes to operate. But if I give anybody any advice about traveling though and operating abroad is really think out what you're taking, plan it, go through it in your mind, build it all at home, and then take it all apart, pack it, and go. because that is the number one thing. You know, the first trip I made to Europe a year and a half ago, and I got there, I took too much stuff. I really did. And I've done that too. As a matter of fact, before then, I've traveled from here to Hawaii. I was over in Hawaii operating portable, and man, I took way too much stuff. And you know, and that honestly, for me to get to Hawaii was just as far as it was. I'm actually closer to Europe, but yeah. If any advice I could give is just plan it out, plan exactly what you're going to use, and try to condense everything in as small and as portable as you can, and to travel with, and then do a checklist, kind of make sure you got everything. I know, like for me, and probably Bob, you might want to kick in on this too. I had to print out the CEPT paperwork and have that with me along with a copy of my license. I never got asked for it, but you know, I was pretty much stayed at the house I was in Poland. But if you're like going out portable and the authorities come, you know, all you got to do is show them your paperwork, and it explains right there what's going on, and kind of can help you there. But it's easy to do. If you're traveling for vacation, for work, or we should say for holiday or whatever, I do it, man. It is a blast to operate from a different country, a different spot, a different place. You gain so much knowledge as a ham from doing it and experiencing the culture of where you're going, not only as the culture of that place, but also the culture of ham radio there. It's really cool.
Absolutely. And I see that there are a lot of chat going on here in our chat about having a license that will let you operate abroad. And I guess that's a good point. Not something that we Norwegians think a lot about because we only have one license level. But if you take your radio abroad, do check if you're actually allowed to bring your radio and what kind of paperwork you need to go there. Some countries require you just to bring the radio. Other countries might require you to get a local license to operate.
Hey, Mark, can you put Bert's comment up there? Bert.
Yeah.
My license doesn't allow.
Yeah, I had it up here. I'm just going to find it again. There we go.
Yeah, Bert, you might want to check that. I'm an extra, which is the highest level in the States. I don't know if Bert's in the States or where he's at. But,
no, Bert's in Belgium.
Oh, he's in Belgium. Okay. But I know as an American, that holds true for, like, right now I'm an extra, the highest I can get. I can pretty much go anywhere in Europe. But when I first went over there, my first trip over there, I was a general, which is kind of like an intermediate, or, you know, that level. And I was lucky that I could operate in Poland. But there are some countries regardless of the CEPT, it goes country by country. There was some countries I couldn't operate in. I don't think as a general I could have operated in Germany.
But that is also because the United States is not a CEPT member. Right. So there are bilateral agreements with each CEPT country for that. Right. I know that if you, as a general, go to Norway, you get full privileges.
Well, you guys do everything right over there. But one level.
And I see that Ginter comments he only travels to CEPT-friendly countries with his radio.
That's good advice. That's good advice.
But I mean, I've only operated in Sweden, and since I live about a stone's throw from the border, that's kind of natural for me, and it's so natural that I sometimes forget to, as some of you guys pretty much saw in my last video, that when me and Bob went to Sweden, we forgot to operate using the correct call signs a couple of times.
Yeah.
So,
but even worse, I think I gave a signal report coming into southern Norway when we were.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So
that's just the routine. When you are hanging out with the same guy and suddenly in a different country, you just forget, right?
Especially when it's the third park of the day, and you've done 2 Norwegian parks. It's and the border crossing is in the middle of the woods with practically no feeling that you cross a border. It's kind of hard to remember that you're in a Sweden or you're in a foreign country. I see the Bert's got some input on the license level in Belgium. So I guess you got to upgrade them, Bert. And just out of curiosity, are there any limitations on what bands you can use and how much power you can use with your license levels? I'd love to hear a little bit about that, Bert.
That's a great question. I'll tell you something too. When I was a general, and when I first started going to Europe, and I was a general, I gained privileges when I got to Poland, because in the United States for generals, 20 meter band starts at 14,225 and up to 14,350. But in Poland, you operate in the country under their band plan. When I got to Poland, I got the entire 20 meter band. So I was able to, when I was in Poland, to get on those, below 14,225 and operate down in that part of the 20 meter band, and I made contacts back to the States, to extras in the States, because I was, using the Polish band plan. So that's a great question. You operate and you use the band plan of the country you're in. So
most countries you do, and actually for you got access to the Eastern European part of the 20 meters then. So
I was going to say that.
And Bert's got about the license classes. Oscar November 3 can operate VHF, UHF 160, 80, 40, 20, and 15, and 25 watts.
Yeah, it works the other way around too. As a general in the United States, we have 17 and 12 meters. But when I was a novice when I was first going to Europe, and I couldn't, in Poland, I couldn't operate in 17 and 12. So it was a little bit of, I lost some, I gained some.
Yeah. And I see that Jody's got a comment for North Americans that Mexico is an odd situation. You have to actually travel to Mexico City to sign your concession document to use amateur radio.
That's a good point. I just applied for my Bahamas license, because my wife and I are going to the Bahamas in January. And so I will get a C6A, I believe it is. Actually, that's another thing too, prefix versus suffix. When I'm in Europe, I was Sierra Papa stroke Kilo 4 Oscar Golf Oscar. As soon as I get my Bahamas reciprocal license, I will be K4 OGO stroke C6A.
Yeah,
so that's different,
Yeah, and that's, I think I read a little bit about that the other day, and that's because of bilateral agreements between the North American countries. Isn't that correct, Walt?
Yes, that is true. And we have another agreement. It's similar to CEPT, but you have to get the paperwork for it for like South America. When we're in the South American countries. And what have you. It's all different. Throughout the Caribbean, South America. There's a lot of things going on there. It's country to country, and he's right. Mexico is really difficult. Like I can go right over, like Canadians and people from the U.S. We can go back and forth, no problem. You know what I mean? And we operate in whatever our level is, back and forth, and just use, the suffix. Like if I went to, let's just say I went to Canada, it would be K4OGO stroke VE 1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah,
we can do that with Canada, but going the other way, Mexico, man, I don't want to get political here.
And
there's not a lot of Americans want to go to Mexico.
And actually, and please don't fact check what I'm saying now, because I've only heard this, but I've heard that that if you go to Malta, you can actually bring your CEPT license, but you're not allowed to bring a radio. As far as I've heard, that might not be correct though. So please don't fact check it. We'll just keep it as a good story for now.
So talking about Malta, and actually within the scope of today's topic, I was thinking of doing an expedition to, is it Sicily? Is that in a large island in the Mediterranean?
Yeah.
With all the mountains?
Yeah.
They have some really nice drive up Soto Mountains, 10 pointers. And 13 pointers during winter time. So I was thinking maybe a week down there in December. That would be great fun.
And I mean, a winter bonus down there is really harder to get up on those mountains in the Mediterranean in the winter.
It's much harder. It hardly ever gets about 25 degrees Celsius. So this is really this frozen winter landscape in December. Yeah.
I would really like to operate in the Italian realm of ham radio. And
Yeah.
we play around and joke about this, guys, but I tell you what, man, of all the countries in Europe, the Italians really, man, it's a passion. Ham
Yeah,
radio
they are passionate about their hobby. And Steve's got a thought here. When you're going from Europe to, or practically any CFD country to the US, you use a prefix. It's a bit confusing since it's different within the CFD countries. And we got someone joining us here, actually. So let's bring him on.
Good evening.
Evening, and I'm just going to change the view here so that can be. And when you go to Europe or when you go to the US as a European or a CFD license holder, you use whiskey and then the region. Is that correct,
Yeah.
Walt?
Yeah, he would be, if like, let's just say he came and visited me, he'd be whiskey 4-stroke M1SDH.
Yeah.
I live in the 4 region of like, I'm kilo 4. In the U.S., it's either whiskey or kilo or November for that matter. You can get
or alpha.
Or alpha, yeah. But
yeah,
I think when you're traveling under an agreement, you use whiskey. So he'd be whiskey 4 if he was here. If he was up north of me, he'd be like whiskey 1. You know, it would just depend on the region.
And Jody comments that Italian passion means that 1500 watts is QRP, and there are a lot of high power stations in Italy, and I don't know what the regulations are, but I don't think that's an issue down there. Let's put it that way.
I don't think that's true, though, because most Italians, they consider only less than a kilowatt QRP.
Yeah. That's the preamp.
Yeah. and I see that, Tobias, you have a comment here as well. So
yeah, you have to heat up your espresso pot.
But I mean, there are good Italian operators and there are not so good Italian operators, and there are Italian operators that don't speak English but use a script, which sometimes can be a little bit confusing.
Yeah, but that's valid for every country.
You know what? The operator is using a script. Not everyone speaks English. I think that's completely acceptable. One of our really good friends, you and I at least, Morten, our Polish friend, Andy, he doesn't speak much English, but he manages to get by just fine with the script. I think that's
Sierra 8 Quebec Sierra Papa 8 Quebec Charlie. Yeah. I did not know that because well, the QSs are usually a bit shorter on Poda though, so
yeah, no, he knows what I'm going to say, and I'm going to know what he's going to say, and that's it. You can't have a conversation because he doesn't speak much English.
This is my big hope, how I will finally manage to master CW, you know? Once you have the right snippets and, you know, a cheat sheet, then you can maybe cope.
Yeah, unless someone asks about your working conditions or the weather or something like that.
Yeah.
You can get through Poland.
You're just curious why. You're just curious why when that happens.
Dzień dobry, like hello, good day, or whatever, and then dziękuję, thank you. You can get around Poland with just those phrases, and you're good to go.
I learned other words from Polish people I work with, but
those are not words for stream, though.
Yes, yes, but there's one topic you haven't touched on. Firstly, Walt, you said something right. You up in Norway do everything right. I heard that while I was on the train. So that was that's a good quote from you. But one of the biggest challenges I have when working abroad is not radio, but what you're allowed to do. Like if you live up in Scandinavia, you're allowed to go wherever you want in nature. If you go to Germany, then you got the Ordnungsdienst coming after you saying, hey, you can go on this soda summit. Or like the rules on how you're allowed to travel around. Like I know in the United States, you get chased off by guards with weapons, like mountain rangers or whatever they call, or cougars or anything. But like learning the local laws on what you're allowed to do or not, that's a big challenge. And the SOTA Association Guide, at least for some countries, is really good. It tells you which laws apply and how you can travel around.
We get that about talking about Americans and weapons as a running joke. A friend of mine, actually, Canadian.
Yeah, running.
He was giving me a hard time. all you guys down there, you all carry weapons. I go, no, it's not like that. He goes, how many guns do you have? I said, 4 or 5. He goes, see, I told you.
I was actually I was visiting a friend of mine a couple of years ago, and we went out to shoot a little bit. This was in the United States, and he had enough weapons to invade a middle-sized Latin American country. But we had a lot of fun, though. A lot different than the hunting weapons you can get over here.
Yeah, well, you know, I think too with American hams, I mean, you think about K8 MRD, me and him talked about it before, whatever. For some reason, we all have guns. I don't know what it is, but you know, it's kind of have that in our minds, like, you know, that crap hits the fan mentality. We're going to be able to defend the fortress. I can defend my fortress. I don't know why. You know, they call it the right to bear arms. That's in our Constitution, and everybody, like, you know, lives by it somewhat. You know, a lot of hams do, at least. I know a lot. Most of the hams I know, they all have guns. But it's a sport too. I mean, we was like for, you know, hunt and, you know, target practice and that type.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guns in Norway as well. It's just not the same type.
Yeah, there are actually just as many guns per capita in Norway almost as in the United States.
I'm sure.
It's just not as visible.
And a lot fewer fully and semi-automatic weapons, I think, in Norway.
Or bazookas.
Yeah. I have started our giveaway now for the people watching. I'm going to put this up on screen here. Let's find the right window here. And what you need to do is you got to put this exact quote in the chat with every letter and capitalized the right way. And now I can't seem to trigger Siri on my iPhone when I try, but when I don't try, it somehow works. But anyway, put hashtag better than a fang in the chat, and you can win. Let's see, this is awfully small now, but you can win this hat from Retivis. And I also do international shipping on it, so don't be afraid if you're not living in Norway.
How much is that going to cost you if the winner is in North Korea, let's say?
I don't think they have YouTube in North Korea, but it's going to cost me 140 Norwegian kroner to send that out to everywhere except or everywhere outside Europe.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So I've done that with my antennas, and it works fine. Actually, I've noticed that shipping from Norway to the United States is a lot cheaper than shipping the other way when you try to buy things.
Containers are probably emptier that way. That's how it is with other types of shipping.
Yeah, probably. So
probably,
and we have we have
But,
6 entries now, and there are 20 people watching the stream. So we're waiting for a couple more before we start the drawing.
Can I air my gripes with the U.S. Postal Service?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. See, I order things from. Well, I really have no self-control when it comes to ordering things, and every once in a while I order them from the U.S. And whatever arrives with a USPS, it takes 3 to 4 times as long to get something delivered in Norway by USPS than it does by China Post. No joke.
It's
ridiculous. That can take more than a month to get something delivered by the US Post.
But that's
I have no idea why it is like that.
That is not the international part of the shipping, though. I had a package sent to me from Indianapolis to my house a couple of years ago, and that package used 3 weeks from Indianapolis to Chicago, which is, I guess that's about a 2-hour drive. Probably a little bit more than a 2-hour drive. And then I used 40 hours from Chicago O'Hare to my door.
Yeah, well, the guy was on vacation for 2 weeks, right? And just left it in a van or something.
Yeah. I had a package that went between Oslo and Amsterdam about 10 times. So they tracked it at each and every time, and then back and forth. And after I called the DHL and was really slightly annoyed at them, then it suddenly appeared at my door.
Did you have to pay customs 10 times?
No, luckily not. But you talked about operating outside of Norway. I looked up. I've been in 8 different SOTA associations now, So starting to get a few, but 2 of them are in Germany. So they're lucky to have more associations. Because that's an award scheme within SOTA.
But you actually you went on a soda rove through the Benelux countries a couple of years back, didn't you, Kjetil?
Yes, I climbed the highest mountains in Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg.
So basically, you went on a SOTA row and you thought, I'd go to what's referred to as the low countries.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you must remember that in Belgium, the highest mountains are 8 and 10 pointers. So I got more points on those few days than I got the rest of the year by just walking outside of the car. But it was a very nice trip. And I did some for fauna at that time, which has also been parks on the air now. So it's really fun, but it's very different, as I said, with like where you're allowed to walk. Are you allowed to tent? Stuff like that.
Yeah. We have 9 entries in the giveaway now. If we get 10, I'll start the drawing. Then we have 50% of the viewers in the drawing. So, we
There
have
it
10.
is.
There it is. So let's start the drawing and see who will win today. And Bert Klaas.
It's Bert.
Woohoo!
Hey.
Congratulations, Bert. I will get it in the mail. Probably not tomorrow. That's due to how busy my work week has been. But I'll get it in the mail on Tuesday, I think. I have a couple of things arriving in the mail on Tuesday. Most of all, hopefully a Quansheng UVK5. But I'm having a hard time keeping track of the tracking numbers for all the eBay and AliExpress packages. Bert, you won, and I'll do it the simple way instead of putting that hat up, which is kind of partly greenish yellow, so it doesn't play well on a green screen. But let's see here. You get the Retivis hat for radio amateurs, sponsored by Retivis, actually. So hopefully we'll get some better giveaways later on. But a hat is a hat, and it's a radio hat, so well worth it. I have one myself, actually. So congratulations, Bert.
The radio hat should be like lined with lead foil or something, so they protected your head when you were doing VHF and EHF.
or Italian QRP.
Yeah.
Or as an extra ground plane or so. No.
And Bert, I know you're on Discord. We've sent some messages on Discord, so just send me your address on Discord, and I'll get the hat over to you. And speaking about Discord, I don't know if everyone is in our TEHRS Discord here, but I'll put the link in the chat so people can join. If not, I've been kind of slow. Let's see here. How does this work? Let's see.
You have to generate an invite link.
I just didn't want to use it to. I didn't want to have it expire though. But I'll put the link in the chat here for people that might want to join our Discord. And I'll put it twice since we have so much activity in the chat today. But Tobias, you're not too far from the Austrian border down in southern Germany. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it should be pretty easy for you to take your radio abroad, perhaps. I don't know if you go very much down that way, though.
Yeah, the problem is I'm not very good with summits, right? You know, slight increase, you know, like 20 degree slope upwards, and my stamina goes really downhill. So I don't know. I'm not made for climbing summits. Something that I really can't do.
But
Otherwise, it would of course be perfect. You know, just in the Alps, there's plenty of possibilities on the German side and also on the Austrian side, I guess.
Yeah.
But
talking about,
I need to say this, Tobias. Just go for it. Start walking up hillside. I'm way past 50 and I'm fat, and it just gets better. Just do it, and you get in shape. It's an excellent idea. It's the best thing I've done in my life. It's
Yeah,
the first
and
time
it
I'm
goes-
working out regularly.
and it goes down on the other side.
Like my wife says, you'll be a beast. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then there are also drive up summits, and I know you have cable cars on a couple of the summits in the Alps, don't you, Tobias?
Right, yeah, I think you can take the cable car up to the Zugspitze,
Yeah.
but I don't know how good that is for ham radio, right? You might be you might be looked at a bit strange for all the other peoples, but hey, that's
ham
yes.
radio, though.
that's ham radio, right?
Yeah.
I've activated on some really busy summits, and I get lots of questions. It's a good way to do PR about radio and just say, I'm not strange, I'm talking with people. And usually a lot of them are interested, and especially when you say you're talking to people on other mountains and stuff like that, they're quite interested. So
yeah, I try to.
I agree. You get some excellent questions doing.
Yeah.
That. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I try to activate my local forest on a parking lot. So I put my magnetic loop antenna up there, and yeah, the questions came as well. Yeah, there was some father with a little kid, and they were fascinated. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, to advertise a bit.
It is really good, and portable activation. We're a little bit past the international activation, but portable activation does not necessarily need to be a summit, though. I activated a new Poda Park today, and I'm just going to show you the picture because you're not really going to believe that it's a Poda Park when you see it. And for those who are in the TEHRS Discord, you've probably seen this picture before. But that's the view from my car, and or at least close to the Poda Park, because it's a trail. It's a coastal trail, and that goes through the harbor there on the sidewalk on the road. You can see hopefully can see in the background there. So
you should zoom in on that for the benefit of people watching on their phones, Morten.
I can. Just gonna see if I.
That's it.
There's a sidewalk going here, and I'm about 9 meters from the trail here, which is within the Poda rules, and so this is a Poda Park.
Yeah, where they manufacture really big end fed half waves, as you can see. No.
Yeah, and right behind the car, there's a sign on the fence that says that is ISPS zone. And for everyone that lives by a coast, you probably know what that is, and that's a security clearance zone for shipping. So I was kind of nervous putting up an antenna there.
But these are cables for underwater, underwater cables.
These are subsea electrical cables for I mean, when you cross from Norway to Central Europe, or to Norway to Germany, Norway to the UK, across the Gulf of Mexico, across the Mediterranean. They make those here in town. Yeah, and they.
Maybe we could borrow one of them and try to use that as a loading coil for 2,200 meters.
That would probably work. And I see that you shared a picture as well here, Kjetil.
Yes, I also went for activation today. I camped
there we go. It showed up now.
Camped overnight here. So this was about 620 meters, and this area is like full of SOTA summits that nobody has gone to. Most in here is a nature preserve, which is not in Poda for some absurd reason. I tried adding it, but it's not there. But it's like this is the summit. No, that's not the summit. This is the summit. Yeah. So it's a beautiful place. Lots of views. Some QSOs. I got up there yesterday, and I forgot that there was the European HF Championship. and that is on CW and SSP. So like the 40 meters was full from 0 to 200. So I ran contest instead.
Yeah. Let's see here. I got some. First of all, comment from Steve here that it's an amazing location, and it definitely is. And then Gunter's got a comment about portable operating in Germany. And the only unwanted guests approaching him are the mosquitoes. No Ordnungsdienst, no police, no Coast Guards, and no Jehovah's Witnesses. So
Good to know.
and on and off, there are some drunk dudes coming over asking for a lighter. So
I was portable today, but we had an issue in the harbor that ruined my.
I'll put that up here, Walt. You put that on the Coastal Waves and Wires Facebook page today, so I'm going to share it here. Let's see.
You guys are familiar with me operating in the harbor. This will look real familiar. Yeah, that was this morning.
I saw
Did you borrow these guys tonight?
All right.
Yeah, if you got
100 watts radio now, that didn't work out.
But if you see me when I'm operating portable in the harbor there, if you look all the way to the left, there, right about there, that's where I operate, right there. And yeah, it was a little tough. Right now, they've got our Coast Guards down there, and they've got bags all in the water and hazmat and everything else going on down there. So it ruined their day bad, but it also ruined my day of portable today. So that was definitely not going to happen today. So I'm just going to stay in here and play with my new radio here in the home QTH today. It's a beautiful day outside. Shame.
And there's also, as Nathan says, that someone that lives on a boat. That's horrific, and it is.
I know the guy. He actually had a houseboat, and he lived on it. It was a liveaboard on a houseboat. Yeah, it was. It's sad to see that happen, but.
And there's also a chance of a fire like that spreading really, really quickly.
The boat next to it went with it. There was two boats. His caught on fire, and he took out the boat next to it. I was down there a while ago looking, and you could see the foresails on a lot of the other ones where the smoke and the flames went by, kind of burn up some of the sails on some of the other boats. But it was pretty horrific. It was a bad day.
I mean, you have fiberglass, you have wood, you have propane, you have diesel fuel. So there's that is scary.
There was another scary thing was a video that somebody posted from where my cabin is. So the neighbor's tree, like 10 meters behind my cabin, was hit by lightning, and they filmed it. So it just went boom, and you saw that big birch tree just splinter. And we've had lots of lightning strikes around there before. So this time it hit somebody else, but still that is scary. And that just flew everywhere. So it's nature is dangerous that way.
It is. And I see the Nathan comments on the boats. Usually the DC system costs it and fuse everything. And as hams, we're kind of at least a little bit more trained to DC power than the regular guy doing electrician work in his camper or his boat, though.
Not really. As you know, I managed to puncture lithium polymer battery this week as well, and almost set fire to everything. So that was really lucky that did not end up worse. That was my mobile phone that I use as a camera for the workbench. And I think I showed it to you, Mortem, how swollen it was. Yeah, so I tried to open it and take the battery out, and when taking the battery out, even with the plastic spatula, I managed to puncture it, and I was very lucky that nothing bad happened. So be careful with this stuff. They hold a really big amount of energy.
And
Bob, I got a question for you. I just thought of it. It's something I do. Have you set up a separate log for your 5 Bravo QSOs? Are you logging them? How are you logging?
I haven't logged anything yet, but I'm logging in hammers, which creates a separate log for every event, every activation.
Okay.
But I will have, when I upload to Logbook of the World in 24 or 25, sometimes when I get around to doing that, I will have to get a separate call sign and a separate certificate for uploading logs and all that.
Yeah.
And probably the same at tqrz.com.
Yeah.
QRZ, you can just set an alias on QRZ, but logbook over world, that's a hassle when you're anywhere but you're within your grid square. It's a hassle.
Yeah,
but you
when
can.
I was in Poland, I set up, like you said, an alias or a separate call, and then I went in and found the grid square, located it, and everything. Because QRZ, when you log, you get, and you see in my videos, I have the miles or kilometers, the distance or whatever, and I get that straight from my QRZ log for that thing. So.
For logbook of the world, it's actually quite simple to get a certificate for another country. But if you do it wrong way, you have to send them your passport and everything. But at least you have to do that before.
I have certificates for Sweden, Denmark, and France for logbook of the world. So it's probably not, but it's just the fact that you have to do it. You have to apply for it, and you have to wait for someone to approve it, and you get it back. I have more of a graph with the entire situation where you need a certificate to upload the files. I think that's fairly arcane technology.
Yeah, and I just had an experience with that because I replaced my computer in December, and that kind of tells how often I upload to Logbook of the World, though. But I tried uploading, and the certificate is only valid for that one computer.
You can move it from one computer to the other. Yeah, as far as I understand.
Yeah, you just have to
apply to a computer.
But then you actually need to have access to that file, though. I didn't, or I had, but it wouldn't work, so I had to get a new certificate.
And that one word, Dropbox.
Yeah.
Do it.
You have to do it correctly, and then it works.
Yeah.
But I messed up with that and had to do like most of the process again. But still, this is better. For example, on QRZ before, you couldn't do, for example, Sierra Mike / Lima Bravo 4 Foxtrot Hotel / portable. You couldn't have 2 slashes, but they fixed that in the more recent versions. So I have lots of QSOs listed as Sierra Mike / Lima Bravo 4 Fox Hotel that, of course, never got any matches.
And
I don't even use Stroke Portable because I'm operating more portable than I do home. I just use the call and go.
So how do you use /portable with Logbook of the World? Because you're in a different location and they always want you to set the grid square. So, I mean, it does not really make any sense, does it?
If you go to Greece, then at least last time I checked, you are required by law to use /portable if you're visiting. So if you're Sierra Victor and your call sign /portable by law, you're not allowed to skip it.
Wow.
So that's one of the local rules again.
And that's
even if you're operating from let's say a club station in Greece?
Irrelevant, as long as you're operating your /portable. I would think that prefix was enough, but no.
No, because using a prefix kind of gives away that you're not at your home QTH and you're operating portable.
Yes.
Then again, in a lot of countries, you are not required to use portable anymore, such as Norway. So I've stopped using that because it just creates more hassle when needing to confirm logs.
Yeah, you have to do it in some Norwegian contest to be in the portable class.
Yeah, on field you got to use /portable, I think.
Yeah,
which I'm not participating in as far as it seems because I'm working that day.
Yeah.
When is that this year?
I use /QRP every once in a while just to break a pile up, though.
That's a whole different issue. European or Region 2 Field Day is the first full weekend in September.
Yeah.
So it's September 2nd and 3rd, isn't that correct, Kjetil?
That's correct. And that always collides with the work event that weekend. So
yeah.
That's 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks from now, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Actually, I get off work at 6 p.m. though, so I might consider just taking a drive to Poda Park and do some field day work there, QRP, and not do the full 24 hours, just until my battery runs out. And perhaps not QRP either if I manage to get a proper power cable for that Kenwood TS440.
You don't need to care about the battery. If you see that trailer that I tipped Bob about yesterday.
Can we get that on a big screen?
Yeah.
Does anyone have a link? Did you post it in Discord, Kjetil?
I'll find the link and
Yeah, you got to share that. That was a former military radio mast trailer, I think, wasn't it?
yeah,
Kjetil?
it was Danish, but still apparently really nice. So it's this one. It's about $4,500 US. 24-volt self-starter with a generator, and it's also self-running, so you can drive it around. So it just looks very nice.
And it's a tower with antenna rotors on it.
Yes, 7.5
funny
kilowatts.
thing is-
That's
Zoom in on that if you don't mind. Oh, I'm curious who made it. The
on
label,
what?
the label
I
I
plate.
think
the
we just
label
saw
and
the manufacturer label
serial
in the
number.
previous picture.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
What was that? Dahlstedt Technik.
It doesn't want to let me zoom, but it's Dahlstedt
It's probably
Technik, so it's a Danish company.
Okay.
But then these are the ones that make it. It's probably some off-the-shelf components.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
I mean that is an awesome trailer. So
Yeah, if it didn't weigh a few times more than my car, I would consider buying it. But you can see it also has like an antenna connector here, so you can plug your X6100 into it.
and you have 400 volt 32 amp, is that?
Yeah, and
That's
some
three
coax
phase
cable
power. Yeah.
and coax cables here. So this is perfect.
Just the
I'll tell you,
basics, right?
And Bert says
I would consider
Middelfart,
buying
and
that,
that is actually a town in Denmark.
Yeah,
I would consider buying that thing if it weren't for the fact that my neighbor got upset when I bought a camper van and parked that outside my house. So I think that he would be a little more than annoyed if I parked that thing out there.
But it's
Especially
smaller
if
than
you
the camper here, right? At least when
But
you.
it's green.
And
Yeah.
are you doing SSTV now, Tobias?
Just managed to finally set up the SSTV, the Ionic software.
Yep.
And I just have it running in the background. And yeah, there seem to be a few blurry pictures coming in. I haven't transmitted yet. So, but that's something that I always wanted to try.
Yeah, I've tried. I've done a stream on it actually a while ago, and there was a picture that says, "Mom, I'm on TV," and no call sign. You can buy those trailers secondhand from the German military for 30,000 euros. So
yeah, but this was 45,000 Danish, so that's
that
much
is
less.
that is
That's a
much
bargain.
less. Let's see here. Let's see. Jody comments that Americans operating in Canada have the option of adding mobile or portable instead of the stroke VEX option. So you could actually just use your call sign and portable then in Canada, Walt.
Okay. I've never operated in Canada. I've been there a lot, but I've never operated there. So
And I see the time here though. We're closing in on the 1 hour mark, so we should probably start to wrap up because we usually use about 20 minutes for that as well. Let's start with the Asian in the show, Bob. Your ham radio plans for next week?
There's a Poda Park about 500 meters from behind me that way. I will manage to activate that while I'm here. As for the summit, it's just so incredibly hot. I'm not sure I'm gonna try and walk up a summit in this god awful heat.
That might be dangerous though. So
it could, and I have my 12-year-old boy with me, so I'm really don't want to get into trouble either for myself or for him. So,
Yeah.
but at least that park, I'm gonna activate that. So I'm gonna get one activation from a park activation from Asia, and I think I'm gonna have to be content with that. And I'm coming home on Friday, and any luck, I'll scale another mountain or two this weekend. That's my plan.
And just remember, safety third, as they say in my line of work. So
Is it up to third now?
Yeah,
I used
safety,
to work
safety
in the-
third.
All right, because I used to work in that line of work, and now I think that was the safety. I think the official line was safety last.
Well, when I started in the mid '90s, there wasn't any thought of safety at all, so things have improved a lot. Kjetil, any plans for the coming radio week?
Probably not when I look at the weather forecast, at least for the start of the week. It's forecast a 24 meter per second gust tomorrow with wind and rain. So it's not comfortable like it's been this week. It's been lovely. But usually like these weather forecasters are wrong. So probably sunny tomorrow. Yeah, I don't really know what I'll be doing there, but I have a lot of video material from this week that I would like to upload and edit. And there's also some more work stuff that I have to go to or can go to. So that's about it for me.
Yeah. Tobias, any plans?
Yeah, more doctor visits and going to the optician, getting some new glasses. Because I had two sets and the other one was the one that got damaged in the accident. Then editing these two videos, hopefully, and getting them out. And then my forced sick leave is also basically coming to an end. So next week, Wednesday, I'm back in a job. So they are merciless, right? They give you the assigned 6 to 8 weeks, in my case 6 weeks, and then you're back at work.
But that means though that you should be getting better though. Nathan asks if you're on 14230 with your SSTV.
Yes, I answered him in the chat. I am.
Yep, that is.
I get yelled at for
good.
doing summits on the air on that frequency.
Well, do you get yelled at?
I wonder why.
Or do you just get a lot of QRM when doing that?
Both, actually.
Walt,
that's just an excuse to use SSTV on SOTA. That's fun.
Walt, any plans for the 891?
Yeah, I want to get. I'm gonna play around with it here in the home tonight, and I want to get out one evening this week. I'm gonna get out here on the seawall and operate with it and do a little portable with that. This upcoming Saturday here, it used to be called the Virginia Beach Ham Fest, and now it's like here in my town in Portsmouth, they've changed the name to the Tidewater Ham Fest. That's this upcoming Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that and go walk around and see what's going on there. It's basically just a good swap meet here. So that we do have a ham fest coming up here locally. Looking forward to that. So I'm going to do that this upcoming Saturday. And that's about it. Like Bob was saying, this is not my favorite time of the year, believe it or not. Everybody thinks beach portable in summer. I can't wait for the fall and the winter to get here to get back out on the beach and operate more portable on the beach. But yeah, so my week will be, I'll just kind of see how it goes. Working a lot of hours. One evening this week, I'm definitely going to get out and operate portable here right across the street.
Yeah. And I had some Poda plans tomorrow since it's my day off, but we're getting the worst rain showers in 25 years. So I'm guessing that's out of the question. And that's going to continue on Tuesday as well, but then I got to work from home. So that's not going to bother me that much. Besides that, I got to finish up testing the Retivis RT83 and get the video edited for that. And of course play a lot around with the Kenwood radio here. I've ordered a power plug for it, so hopefully I'll be able to take it out portable at some point. Right now I have the Kenwood power supply with the wire. The power cord is just hardwired to the power supply, so I'm not going to mess around with that. I'm just going to make another power cable for portable work. And those are the plans I have. I haven't really made any other plans than that. I got to make a couple of my antenna kits for sale on the Hamfest. My 3D printer is running 24/7 now, printing parts for it. And then plan the Hamfest. And if you're local, if you're in Norway, just ask me or check whatever's posted on Facebook. I've tried to reach most hams in Norway. I don't know if I have reached most hams in Norway, but that's been my goal the though to have that happen. It's a little bit scary putting on a Hamfest alone, but hopefully people will show up and hopefully there'll be some good deals there. At least I have a box of gear I don't use to sell. And speaking about that, Walt, are you buying or selling on the Hamfest?
I'm probably end up buying.
but you always got to sell something, though, to end up in zero.
Question: can I like put stuff out in the car and I'll see some? Hey, psst, over here, man. I would probably just, if I did want to sell something, I'd go up and say, hey, I don't want a table, but here's the price for the table. I'm going to try to sell it. I wouldn't be that guy. I'd like to support clubs, but
yeah,
I've got some stuff I do need to part with, but I was probably going to just donate it to our club.
Yeah, that's a good way of just getting rid of old equipment. Donate it to a club or a new ham or something like that. I've done that a couple of times, and there's a rule in my club that all equipment that you get for free, you got to give it away at some point. So that Kenwood is one of those deals. So I'm never going to sell it, but when I'm sick of it, I'm probably going to give it away to a new ham that just got its license or something as a HF starter kit. If I get sick of that radio, I might not.
You can train your soldering skills and do a recapping. Go for it.
It is already recapped though. So
great.
And it's also fixed that that glue they use that turns into being conductive after about 15 years. That's been removed. So the only thing that I've discovered is not working is the light bulb between behind the S meter, and I looked at the service manual and I looked at 2 YouTube videos, and I guess there won't be a light bulb back there because that was not an easy fix.
It's like
flashlight. Just have a flashlight.
Engine light comes on. We just put black electrical tape over the light and keep driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what a mechanic told me when the check brakes light came on my previous car. Put black tape or remove the light bulb.
Yeah, I
don't
gotta
look at it.
Yeah, I have a warning light in my camper and about bad brakes, and I've had a mechanic look at the brakes and they're fine. So it's just 20-year-old Italian electronics not working like they're supposed to. And I guess that's it for now. We're a little bit on, I wouldn't say overtime, but we've made it the same time as we usually do. Congrats to Bert for winning the hat. And we'll be back next week with a special guest. We'll have Ringway Manchester on, and he'll probably, hopefully, talk a little bit about number stations and all those strange stations you can hear all around. And if you're by any chance not subscribed to his channel, I don't think anyone here is not subscribed to his channel, but I take a look at his videos. And if you're not subscribed to any of our channels, go ahead and do that as well. And on that note, 7-3.
7-3, guys.
7-3.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for
Until
watching.
next
See you
week.
next week.